Dear students, hope you are all well. Today we will begin with a chapter in history. The name of the chapter is Religious Synthesis. Now, what do you mean by religious synthesis? Religious synthesis means blending of two or more religious belief system. Let's begin with the chapter. Diversity of languages and religion is an important characteristics of the Indian society. Now, what do you mean by the word diversity? Now, in our country, India is called as a diverse country. Why is it called as a diverse country? Because we have different languages, different religions, different food, different clothing. That is why our country is called as a diverse country. Let's move forward. Considering this feature, the Indian Constitution has adopted the principle of secularism. As you all have learned before, so what do you mean by secularism? Secularism means all religions are treated equally. There is no religion inferior or superior. All religions are treated equally. In medieval India, attempts to bring about religious synthesis in social life, that means where we live, was made on the basis of this principle. Which principle? Secularism, where all should be treated equally. Let's move forward. Among these efforts, the Bhakti movement, Sikhism and the Sufi section has a important place. Now in this chapter, that is the religious synthesis, we will learn about these three things, that is the Bhakti movement, Sikhism and the Sufi section in detail in this chapter. Now these different streams of thought arose in different parts of India. So these different streams arose in different parts of India where they gave importance to religion. They emphasize harmony between the different section and religious along to the devotion to God. That means to worship God. Now, what do you mean by Bhakti movement? Bhakti movement was started by the Hindu sons or the Hindu saints. The main principle of Bhakti movement was God is one. All men are equal. Caste distinction and superstition should be given up or should be removed. Okay, let's move forward. Initially, rituals and Brahmanyan were greatly emphasized in the Indian religious life. Now, rituals are a set of fixed actions. They gave importance to the Indian religious life. Okay, let's move forward. In the medieval period, they gave way to the Bhakti Marg. Bhakti Marg means the path of devotion. Bhakti Marg did not give any undue importance to hierarchies, which further facilitated religious synthesis. Now, in different regions of India, that means in different places of India, we find different forms of devotion, right? People are worshipping in different ways. Now, according to the local situation over there, the Bhakti movement used the common people's language. Now, why did the Bhakti movement use the common people's languages? It is because they will be able to understand properly. Now, the Bhakti movement's people languages were Sanskrit. That was the sons or the saints of the Hindu sons, their language was Sanskrit, but they did not use that language. Instead, they used the common people's language of that place. This helped the development of regional languages. So they used the common people's language. So this helped in the development of their languages also. Let's move forward. The Bhakti movement, it is believed that the Bhakti movement originated from the South India. Okay, it originated or started from the South India. From that, the Nayanars and the Alwar Bhakti movements emerged in this region. That means the Nayanars and the Alwars emerged from this region. That means from the South India. Now, the Nayanars were the devotees of Lord Shiva. Now, different people worship different god. So, the Nayanars were the devotees of Lord Shiva, while the Alwars were the devotees of Lord Vishnu. Okay? There were also attempts to consider Shiva and Vishnu as one, where they made an attempt to consider both the idols as one. They made both idols of Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu as one. The Harihar idols, which depict half Vishnu and half Shiva, were produced in this period. As you can see in this picture, there's a god, both the gods, that is half Shiva and half Vishnu. They have made one idol. People belonging to all social strata had participated in this bhakti movement. Okay, they participated in this bhakti movement and they also preached values. Now, what values did they preach? They preached values like love of God, humanity, compassion, mercy, etc. All these values they preached. The next is Ramanujan and other acharyas strengthened the base of the bhakti movement in South India. Now, what did they tell to the people? They told people that God is for all. It is not only for the sons or who are preaching, it's not for them. That means God is for all. God does not discriminate. That means God does not discriminate in by any religion. All are equal. The teaching of Ramanuj had a great impact in North India. There are different sons who had preached. So now the teachings of Ramanuj had a great impact in the northern part of India. Let's move forward. Now, Sant Ramanand strengthened the Bhakti movement. He made the Bhakti movement strong. He strengthened the Bhakti movement in the North India. Now, Sant Kabir, you all must have heard about him. Sant Kabir is a well-known Sant in the Bhakti movement. He did not attach any importance to places of pilgrimage when people used to go for pilgrimage. He did not give any importance to anything. He did not attach any importance to places of pilgrimage, vratas, or idol worship. He did not have anything like that. He had everyone are equal. Let's move forward. Truth was God. He thought that all human beings are equal. Truth was God. He thought that all human beings are equal. He did not believe in any differences based on caste, creed, section, and religion. He did not believe on anything. He treated all religion as equal. And his main aim was he wanted to bring about Hindu and Muslim unity. He wanted that these two religions should be united against each other. Let's move forward. In Bengal, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu underlined the importance of Krishna Bhakti. Now, this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what was his aim? His aim was he used to mostly worship Lord Krishna. Due to his teachings, people joined the Bhakti movement and transcending the boundaries of caste and creeds. Now, under his influence, under his guidance, Shankar Deva spread the Bhakti movement in Assam. So there was another son, that is Shankar Deva. He spread the Bhakti movement in Assam. Okay. Narsi Mehta, he was he was a renowned Vaishnava sant in Gujarat. Now, he was a sant in Gujarat. He was a devotee of Krishna. He was also a devotee of Lord Krishna. He also used to worship Krishna. Now, what message he gave? He gave the message of equality. He is known as the first poet of the Gujarati language. Who? Narsi Mehta is known as the first poet of the Gujarati language. Let's move forward. Next is Sant Mirabai. Now, Sant Mirabai stressed the importance of devotion to Krishna. She belonged to a royal family. That means she belonged to a very rich family of Mewar. She renounced all pleasures of the royal family and immersed herself in devotion of Krishna. Now, although she was from a rich family, she did not have that thing in her that she is rich. She composed devotional verses in Rajasthani and Gujarati languages. Now, her devotional verses gave the message of devotion, tolerance, and humanity. Now, what do you mean by tolerance? Tolerance means you should have the capacity to listen to other people. You should not always think that my words are always right. You should always listen to others. That is the meaning of tolerance. Let's move forward. Now, Sant Sena was an influential Sant. Sant Rohidas was a great Sant. He gave the message of equality to humanity. That means all are equal. Then Surdas was a great poet of the Hindi literature. Literature means written work, composed by the poetical work. Surya's devotion to Krishna, that is Krishna Bhakti, is the subject of his work. So he used to worship Lord Krishna. The verses of Krishna Bhakti is the subject of his work. The verses in Krishna Bhakti composed by the Muslim Sant Raskhan, okay, was melodious. Melodious means good to hear. Ramcharitra Manasa of Sant Tulsidas is a beautiful composition expressing devotion to Rama. Composition means creative work. Let's move forward. In Karnataka, Basaveshwar spread the Lingyat stream of thought. He opposed the caste system and stressed the dignity of labor. Kayakave Kailas means is well-known saying which means work is worship. What Kayakave Kailas means work is worship. He encouraged women participation also in this movement. Men and women belonging to all castes began to participate in this religious discussion conducted. Sri Basaveshwar conveyed his teaching in the language of the people. That means, as I told you, the sons used to mostly use the regional language. That means the language of that place. So they will be able to understand Kannada through the medium of Vachna literature. His work had a great impact on the society. Now, his followers, that means Basaveshwar's followers, had composed their work even in the Marathi language. Let's move forward. Of these compositions, Paramasarya, composed by Manmat Swami, is very well known. Great sons in Karnataka include Pam, Purandarsa, Dasa, and others. They have composed many devotional verses in Kannada. Let's move forward. That's your homework. The first one is the Dash and the Dash Bhakti movements emerged in this region. The second one is Dash stressed the importance of devotion to Krishna. And the last one is what message did Sant Mirabai convey through her devotional verses. That's all for now. We will learn the next part of the chapter in the next video. Thank you for listening, children. Goodbye. Take care.